Introducing OpenPort's blockchain logistics solutions. Now, this is a typical system flow where you have order data flowing in from the 3PL customer, like a shipper, into OpenTM. Order data can be imported via CSV or can be integrated via EDI for SAP or Oracle ERP files. And then after the order comes into OpenTM, the 3PL can then receive or coordinate push of those shipments to a specified carrier, either via marketplace or via direct nomination. In this case, we'll go through an example of direct nomination where the carrier sees the orders via dispatcher tool and then assigns it to the driver app, which then begins track and trace and GPS logging as soon as the driver receives the order information. And when all of the information gets pushed down to the driver app, soon as events and shipment events like in transit, geofence, manual events that are triggered by drivers occur, they then get uploaded into the analytics server and visible to the 3PL customer as well as the carrier user roles. In many cases, TMS and dispatcher setups are configured using Excel files. Excel files that contain location information for pickup and delivery. All of the depots, recipient stores, and other sites that the driver would be delivering or picking up goods would be uploaded using this file. In this case, we're looking at the location data file with address information, state, city, as well as longitude, latitude, and contact details of that specific location. And then we also have other files to propagate a new TMS, such as rate sheets, where that would contain equipment type, lane pairs such as from and to destination or destination cities and zones, which would determine how much a shipment would be for a certain lane pair, with a combination of commodity and asset type, as well as type of rate, whether it is charged per kilometer, fixed distance, or whether it has accessorials included with a certain lane pair or not. Aside from bulk rate uploading using the Excel file, contract rates can also be inputted directly into the system using this UI, where multiple transporters can configure and define their origin and destination pairs, as well as commodity and equipment combinations for a lane. Now, this allows multiple transporters to submit pre-configured rates, contracted rates, as we call it, that apply during certain date ranges and certain parameters. Adding multiple lane and commodity pairs can be as easy as using this UI, and certain activities such as cloning selected lanes, deleting, or even exporting lanes to Excel file so that it becomes a Excel template for rate sheets, can also be done using this UI. Now let's proceed to uploading order data using CSV. CSV bulk uploads for orders normally contain order headers like invoice number, certain information like shipment load number, or origin and destination, or pickup and destination rather, as well as invoice details if that's available, such as SKU, product codes, product description, net weight, and price, as well as other details of a invoice or multiple invoice inside a shipment. The CSV file can be uploaded via bulk upload, or if connected via EDI to an ERP, would be sent to OpenTM using standard integration or data transfer. Now, logging into the TMS or OpenTM as a shipper, we'll see that the shipper can also create individual orders using a UI that allows him to create a unique order, select a pickup and destination from a predefined location table, which we populated earlier using Excel, or you can create a new pickup and destination record on the fly using this user interface. Address lookups can be done using string or any other parameters within the location table, and payment terms and target rates can then be created using or defined using this form, as well as adding equipment type services, as well as accessorials that are expected to be included in this shipment tender. As a general rule of thumb, adding additional parameters such as accessorials or service types in a shipment tender significantly focuses the parameters or qualifications of transporters that are allowed to bid or see the shipment tender and submit bid rates to it. But in a ideal scenario where you have multiple transporters enrolled in the marketplace and your TM is connected to all of these transporters, then that gives you, the shipper, the advantage of being able to post shipments with specific parameters for ad hoc bidding. Now let's try to pull up a few shipments that have already been imported into the system previously. In this case, we'll look at a shipment detail. I clicked on the shipment detail there and looked at all of the information inside this shipment, detailed record of details inside the shipment, and went back to the list page where I, as a shipper user, see all of the shipments that I've processed. I can see here that there are some shipments that have been modified or rate modified automatically by the system. There are also shipments that I can see who have been rate modified by the system by default, and then the rates were modified by a person logging into the system before it was assigned to a carrier and then assigned to a specific driver. Now that we've seen how the OpenTM receives orders and rates them against contract rates or pre-populated bulk rate sheets, let's take a look at how a transporter receives these shipments and starts processing them. So we're logging in as transporter 3 in the OP2 dispatch. And the user will see a bunch of menus: dispatch, registration, map, data upload, report wizard. In this case, we'll just take a look at the shipments that we've received from this date period. And I, as a dispatch coordinator, will typically just select the shipments that I know are new or have been pushed recently into the system, and simply select a driver from the pull-down list and then assign load. I can also select multiple shipments from this list that have not been processed yet and do a order sequence, manual order sequence, using the drag and drop functionality in this UI. Now switching over to the driver role, as the driver receives notifications on his phone, he can click a notification and that automatically opens up the OpenPort driver app, assuming that he's logged in already with his username and password. He can go and sort or change sorting options on his assigned, in transit, or delivered list, multiple options that are present in this mobile app, and review his information or the assigned orders given to him. In this case, we just took a look at a mock order, and the driver was curious and wanted to see the routes and some details of the shipment that was recently assigned to him. This driver can look at the routing functionality or use the routing functionality inside the driver app, or he can launch any available mapping application in his phone using the external routing button that we clicked earlier. Using the external routing function, which launches Google Apps in this case, gives the driver additional features such as being able to look for traffic laden routes, new suggested routes along the way, and even go back and forth between the driver app and Google Maps to conveniently help him along the delivery route. Now let's proceed to this specific order that was just assigned and begin the process of loading the goods into the truck as if the driver just arrived at the pickup location. So there's a few details here that are obvious to the driver, as well as being able to add the loader name or some comments to that loader field. And the driver can take multiple photos of activities happening during the loading process. Generally, these include taking pictures of multiple invoices for that shipment, as well as perhaps in some cases taking pictures of the truck being loaded and other activities that are happening during that exercise. The driver can use any navigational method he wants, whether it is the in-app navigation tool inside of the OpenPort driver app or the built-in Google Maps application on the smartphone. So let's go back to the driver app now and navigate back to the order in transit that we were doing, and pretend that the driver has already arrived at the delivery location. I, as a driver, would enter the recipient name or the person who's authorized to receive the goods. In this example, I'll put in 90 cartons, 10 cartons short of the original 100 that I picked up. And I'll proceed taking a few photos of the unloading exercise. Perhaps take a picture of some invoices that have been marked or stamped or signed, whether with exceptions or not. These are photos, printed photos that are important to the process so that we have comparison against the start and end set of photographs. I try to put in an incorrect one-time password that I would have gotten from the recipient of the goods. That doesn't allow me to confirm the shipment. In this case, I'm forced to enter the exception code, put in the quantity of the SKU that had exceptions, as well as take a photo of the damaged goods. Now, as I take a photo of the damaged goods and the reason code, I'm forced to show this to the receiver at the delivery area. Reason is I need to get this one-time password to be able to confirm the shipment has been completed correctly and that the receiver actually reviewed all of the details that I put into my driver app. So this example, I would have already gotten the 6-digit one-time password, expiring password from the receiver, and this allows me to confirm the shipment. With this confirmation that I completed for this shipment, I gain 176 pesos in my micro rewards, which I can then claim anytime I want to. Micro rewards drives better compliance, more data, and full transparency throughout all of the shipments that uses the OpenPort platform. Drivers are incentivized to take better pictures of PODs, invoices, and even exercises of loading and unloading goods from the vehicle. Drivers can then encash these rewards depending on the preferred method of the country or market they operate in. The driver app also allows the user to enter unforeseen expenses during the shipment. And the driver profile accumulates and shows the driver compliance and rewards that he's accumulated throughout history. Compares him against other drivers in his network and also incentivizes more competitiveness across transporters, drivers, and the supply chain in general. All of these points are then aggregated back up to transporters and 3PLs and helps shippers make better decisions to pick which transporter or transport groups they'd like to work with, not just based on price. The expense feed enables drivers to log unforeseen expenses that are incurred during the shipment and log those expenses directly into specific shipment records that they have on their phone. This greatly decreases the amount of back office work for people to look for receipts and unknown expenses that they wouldn't have normally captured using their existing processes. Toll fees, parking fees, congestion fees, detention fees, and anything that has a receipt or even don't have a receipt can be captured using this expense log, including the documentation and anything else that needs to be logged into the shipment or against the shipment record. Predefined routes from the order sequence off of the dispatcher UI can also be loaded in advance to each driver. This enables the driver to plan his route and look at his shipments on either milk run or FTL moves. The driver app is loaded with multiple configurations available to the driver, as well as configurations in the back end that is set by the administrator. Dispatch coordinators can track multiple drivers in their network using the live map. This is generally necessary for heavy coordination with large-scale transport networks, or trying to find out problems with long-haul shipments. Investigating events, geofence alerts, locations of the driver when and where an event-specific incident happened can be isolated using the driver map or using the live map by replaying the breadcrumbs along the way. Dispatcher can find out what exactly happened at what moment in time in history. And all of this information is encapsulated in our smart contract that's processed in the OpenPort blockchain. Detailed track and trace events are logged and visible for dispatcher, shipper, and everybody else who has access to TM and the dispatch UI. Transport coordinators, finance officers, or other authorized users can then review ePODs and other documents that have been sent in via the mobile phone and approve or reject them for manual micro rewards points. The user can then download actual ePODs or actual photo scanned PODs and review them as necessary. The built-in report wizard enables the user to generate multiple types of reports in CSV or Excel format. This also gives the user the ability to configure predefined schedules or days that these reports can be emailed to him. This experience enables the user with significantly better usability and convenience. Users just need to configure their reports once or twice, define the search parameters or query parameters that they'd want to be included for their CSV or Excel report, define the time and frequency that they want to receive this report, and it will be emailed to them in the regular frequency that they desire. Shippers and transporters have predefined analytics and reports dashboard in the OpenTM and Dispatch UI. In this example, I'm logged in as an administrator for a shipper company and open up the performance dashboard for my operations. This gives me an overview of my geography, transporter performance, on-time delivery, on-time pickup, and multiple KPIs that are measured out of the box. These dashboards allow the user to drill down to chart-specific information, export data, and interactively fill almost any facet or column in any of the charts and the dashboard. This allows the user for great flexibility, being able to go into meetings, pop up a dashboard, get a screenshot, put that into presentation or PowerPoint, or even drill down and export data, shipment specific, SKU specific, and even messaging as well as GPS logs directly into Excel without having to request information from the IT department. Interactive geographic heat maps project multiple types of information on the dashboards that can be drilled down to data, chart, or even at shipment level. All of this information can be filtered, exported, or requeried for further use. Now let's take a look at a shipper pulling up information on his delivered shipments. Track and trace details all of the shipment events, shipment-related events, communications, geofence, and all the activities related to that shipment or specific shipment in the track and trace window. Unique smart contracts look at each shipment and all of the shipment parameters in each shipment type to encapsulate multiple parameters of the shipment into the OpenPort blockchain. Users that are logged into the system can see the decoded data of each encrypted block, as opposed to the public, which would only see the encrypted hash of that same information. The decoded information contains smart contract changes, such as rate changes in a shipment that was predefined as a TMS rated shipment, a pickup and delivery geofence contingent on the longitude latitude specific to that location. Also checks quantities of pickup versus delivered, and also a complete address string of the delivery location. Since the OpenPort blockchain enables only authorized users to see decoded data, these authorized users will be able to pick up and validate POD information from URLs displayed in the block. This feature is especially useful for financial institutions and banks in our network to be able to easily validate documents when and where they need it. OpenPort's Blockchain Explorer is purpose-built for security and scalability. This enables us to continuously iterate and build innovative features like document recognition AI and micro-rewards into our protocol. The OpenPort network is currently built on a fork of Ethereum working on proof-of-stake consensus. Our innovation seeks to embrace current business practices that require paper PODs and invoices, but augment that with document recognition AI and micro-rewards to significantly increase the veracity, credibility, and auditability of documents. OpenTM and OpenDispatch enables users to generate invoice to send to financial institutions or shippers alike. Shipment details can be modified or updated as and when needed by authorized users before sending it out as a consolidated statement. Freight statements and invoices are then validated by shippers and then sent over to liquidity providers or banks for processing and payment releasing. The Freight Payments Processing Portal enables financial institutions to conveniently manage cash flow from shippers to transporters. Auditors can view ePODs on ongoing verification, look at overdue freight invoices for transporters, and track payment releases to transporters, as well as collection records from shippers. And this is OpenPort's blockchain logistics platform with an integrated TMS and freight marketplace, visibility and analytics, micro rewards and compliance program, and a smart contract-based ePOD.